Hey guys, it's me, Kristy Lee. Today is Wednesday, January 25th, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've been trying to practice myself. Something that I feel is beginning to work. Something I didn't think would work, but I have noticed something. I received a message from a girl who was asking about how to be okay with being alone instead of feeling like, and I'm just paraphrasing here, instead of feeling like she'd rather be in a toxic relationship or a relationship with the wrong kind of person than be alone. And I completely sympathize with her. There have been too many times in my life where I have stayed in a relationship that I was not happy in. I was not being treated well in. Just toxic, unhealthy, emotionally abusive relationships. But I stayed because it felt better to be with someone than to be alone. Terrified of being alone. Always have been. I think maybe some of that is changing for me. It's a very slow process, but I wanted to tell you about something specifically that I've been trying to do to help me to one day be okay with being alone. I didn't really put any planning into this, so I'm sorry if it seems like it's a bit all over the place, but this is something that I've been wanting to share with you guys. It's been on my mind, so I figured I would go ahead and do this video and get it out there. And I believe I've touched on it maybe once or twice quickly in a couple of my videos. So when I'm feeling down, or I'm feeling lonely or depressed or things like that, sometimes I really feel like I wish I had someone who would notice and who would ask me, "Are you okay?" Or "How are you feeling?" Or "What can I do to help?" I never want someone to say, "What's wrong with you?" or what's going on with you, like, in, you know, that kind of like, "I'm irritated that you're feeling this way" kind of thing. And unfortunately some people do. Like, I don't know if they truly are irritated or impatient, or maybe they just don't understand or don't know how to approach it, so they just kind of go with, I don't know. You know, I've had people say, "What's your problem?" Or, you know, we've talked in the do's and don'ts of loving someone with depression video about all the ways that people could say the wrong things. But I found myself sometimes just feeling so alone and really, really wanting someone, you know, close to me to reach out and say, "How are you feeling? You know, are you okay? You know, what can I do?" And oftentimes I find that most people in my life just aren't capable, for whatever reason, they aren't capable of doing that. And I think that a lot of us are in that situation, or maybe not a lot. Some of us are in that situation. And so I decided that I would try, not just for the depression thing, but just in general, I would try to love myself the way I want someone else to love me. So all the things that I've been looking for in someone else, the connection, the intimacy, the comfort, I decided to try and start practicing. And I say practicing because it is a practice. As with anything you do, it's not going to work the first time, or it's not going to be perfect the first time. Lots of things, most things, I would say, take practice. You have to keep trying. You have to keep trying until it works. So what I've been trying to do when I feel down or I feel lonely is not just think it, but say to myself out loud, how are you feeling? With that same genuine concern and compassion that I would want from someone else. How are you feeling? What can I do to help you? And the first couple of times that I tried this, I felt a little silly. And I didn't think that it was going to work. But then one day, when I was feeling low, I remembered, and I asked myself, how are you feeling? And I answered myself. I didn't answer myself out loud because I wanted it to be sort of a separation. This part of me is asking myself how I feel, so I'm saying this out loud, and this part of myself is responding, so I'm keeping that in my mind. And I don't know if that's how you need to do it. I'm guessing that you could answer yourself out loud, but to me that seems like the same one that's asking is the one replying. So I just kind of separate the two by asking myself out loud and then responding internally, so that it's almost like a conversation between me and myself. Because I believe that there are different parts of ourselves, and I believe that you can have a relationship with yourself, or I didn't always believe it, but I'm truly starting to believe it. And when I asked myself how I was feeling, and I responded to myself internally, sorry, I'm trying not to cry, but I really felt as if someone had genuinely asked me how I felt. I got this feeling like someone cared. Sorry about that. I didn't expect this to be an emotional video, but I think just saying it out loud made me realize what a I don't know the word for it. It just really made me see how much that meant to me, because I've always been that type of person who always had the negative self-talk, who just didn't like myself and honestly just didn't care for myself. So the fact that I felt something, felt cared for just by asking myself how I was feeling, it was huge. It was definitely I don't know what you would call it, but so when I start to feel a little low now, and again, this is a practice, I have to remember it in order to do it, but it's getting easier. It's getting a lot easier. So I ask myself how I'm feeling, and I answer myself and say to myself, I don't know, I'm just feeling a little low. And I ask myself, well, I mean, what can I do to help? And internally, I hear myself saying, just be here with me. And I find comfort in that. And from this, I'm starting to understand how important it truly is to build a relationship with yourself. I think even as children growing up, we're always, I guess, influenced from the outside. I don't know what it is. Society, just life in general. We're always so focused on building relationships outwardly, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, parents sometimes, or hopefully for most of us, relationships with our parents and family members. Nobody ever tells us how important it is for us to have a relationship with ourselves. Because I don't want to say whether you believe it or not, because this is my belief that we're all spiritual beings. I wouldn't say I'm religious. I do question religion. I do pray. My relationship with religion is very difficult, and I'm working on it. But I am a very spiritual person, and I believe that we're spiritual beings who are, we are using these bodies as a way to exist in the physical. And I also see our bodies as like a vehicle or a computer, or sorry that I don't have everything put together the way that I would want it to be put together to do this video, but I just, like I said, I didn't plan for it. It's just been on my heart and on my mind, and I just wanted to share this out with you guys. So I believe that there's, you know, two major parts of us. There's the spirit who's embodying us, and then there's the physical body and the chemicals in the body that make the emotions and the thoughts and things like that. So I guess I've believed that for a while, but I've never really made the connection about having a relationship between your spiritual self and your physical self, your body and your spirit having a relationship, and your spirit taking care of your body. And does that make any sense? So basically what I wanted this video to be, I didn't realize it was going to be emotional for me. I guess just speaking it out loud really does something. I just want you guys, because I know a lot of you I've been going through a lot of crying spells lately, and I wonder if it's a direct correlation between all the things that I've been learning and trying to practice, and I don't know. I just cry at everything beautiful, and I don't know. Anyway, I really want to help you guys as much as, you know, a person on the screen can help you. So I would implore you to try this. And I know that you're going to feel silly at first, and you're going to think this is never going to work. Because I was the same way. But if you can find it in yourself to put this into practice, so that when you're feeling low, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling stressed, or anything, when you're feeling any kind of, I mean, I guess you could do it when you're happy too. Check in with yourself. But specifically speaking right now, when you're feeling that kind of way, open up the door for a relationship for yourself, with yourself, so that you can stop, I guess, relying on outside sources for your comfort, and so that you start to learn to seek your own attention, so that you enjoy being with yourself, so that you can comfort yourself, and so that you learn to trust yourself and you learn to love yourself, because that is the biggest, that should be the goal, to really learn to love yourself. And I struggle with this for a long time, because all the time people would say you have to love yourself, and I would say, what is there to love? There's nothing here to love. Or they would say you have to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust yourself to make the right choices and the right decisions, trust yourself, follow your heart, you know, all these things. And I used to always say, I can't trust myself. Look at what I've done in the past. Look at what following my heart has done in the past. But I guess I'm realizing that that's because I've never cultivated that kind of relationship with myself. I've never given myself the opportunity to prove myself to myself. I've never given myself attention. And that's important. It's important to pay attention to yourself, to give yourself attention, to say, hey, I love you and I'm here. So I'm going to go before I start crying like a freaking baby. I say that jokingly because I don't feel that way about myself when I cry. I honestly believe that crying is it's cleansing and it's purifying and it's a lot of things. I think crying is very, very good. It's healing. So I say that purely joking, and maybe that's not right, but I don't feel like a baby when I cry. It feels good to cry. So I'm going to go, but I hope that you guys found this helpful, even if a little bit, and I implore you to try this, and don't give up if you don't feel anything the first couple of times. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. I mean, it's just like meeting someone for the first time. You work towards building a relationship. You learn to trust people. Yeah. So, do that. And I will see you guys next time. I love you.